Alabama defeats Kentucky 49-21 and becomes the SEC West champions yet again. They will face Georgia in the SEC championship. You win that game, you punch your ticket to the college football playoff without any help. Now, I think Alabama, personally, I think they have to win out and beat Georgia to get in no matter what, just kind of how everything else is shaken out around the country. But right now, putting themselves in the prime position that they need to be in to be able to make it to the college football playoffs. I'd love some help today from Utah versus Washington. We'll see how that game goes. It just kicked off as soon as I started recording this video. Let's talk right now just what Alabama had to do in this game. No Jermaine Burton. I guess he woke up feeling pretty sick today. Did not play in this game. Deontae Lawson out. Jalen out. Both of those guys, number 2 and number 3 in tackles for this defense. I thought Christian Story came in and played pretty good. You know, I'm sure there might have been something here or there. We'll see this week as we rewatch the game. But from my perspective, just watching it the first time, I thought Christian Story played really good. Probably should have had a fumble and recovery at the end of the game. They didn't challenge it, but that ball looked out to me. You know, Kentucky ended up scoring a touchdown the next play, I believe, on that. Probably should have been a fumble, but, you know, it is what it is. They didn't challenge it. Nothing happened, so... you know, that is what it is. But I thought both of those guys played pretty well. Tresman Marshall, Jihad Campbell played a lot today for Deontae Lawson being out. And I thought those guys played really well as well. So right now, I want you guys, what is your one-word reaction to the Alabama versus Kentucky game? I mean, a lot of guys played really well. You know, obviously Alabama gave up 3 touchdowns in this game. But... overall, there's just little things you could be nitpicky about here and there. Overall, I thought it was a really good game. What is your one-word reaction to Alabama's win over Kentucky and clinching the SEC West? Now, I'm just going to go over our keys to victory from our preview video earlier in the week. First key to victory was start out fast. You can go ahead and check that one off. 21-0. To start the game for Alabama. That was the first time since the opening drive of the season that Alabama was able to score on the opening drive. Obviously, they did. They scored touchdowns on the first 3 drives. Kind of petered out after that a little bit. But overall, that's what we wanted to see, for them to start out fast. And they absolutely did that. Jalen Milroe, just another unbelievable game for him. That first drive, 10 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes and 13 seconds. That's what you love to see. Opening up a game, especially an early game. We've seen Alabama start slow in games like that before. It was nice to see him jump out to a lead, including Jalen Milroe. You know, he got hit in the quad early in the game. He had to kind of fight through some adversity. So it was nice to see that from Jalen Milroe, from the offense as a whole, and from the defense, especially to start off the game. Punt, fumble, punt. They gave up a touchdown that 4th drive of the game, but, you know, it was nice to see them jump out early to start this game. So right now I want you guys, it will be the pinned comment today. Great Alabama against Kentucky today. There was some good, there was some bad. The bad wasn't that bad. Let's just be clear about that. You know, it's little nitpicky things here and there that, you know, it's been 2 weeks in a row now. Terrion Arnold is slow getting over on guys when they're motioning, and then they kick it out to that guy. And it's, I think last week it was a really big first down that LSU got early in that first half. And then today, I believe it went for a touchdown. Terrion Arnold, you know, he's been amazing. He was amazing today. But like I said, there's just little nitpicky things that you could look at here and there. So great Alabama today against Kentucky. A, B, C, D, or F. Okay, key to victory number 2, O-line staying confident. I thought the O-line played amazing today. 0 sacks. The first game of the season that they gave up 0 sacks. Jalen Milroe he had just so much time in the pocket today. You know, Jaylen was 15 for 22, 234 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, a bonehead interception. But a play like that, we're talking about the offensive line. The offensive line gave him a lot of time. And that's not something that he's been accustomed to. Even when Ty Simpson got in the game, you know, he was only in the game for a half versus USF and got sacked 5 times. I thought the offensive line played really, really well today. It's going to be nice to see their PFF grades. Probably tomorrow is when we'll put out our overreaction video and kind of breaks down some of those PFF grades, that being Pro Football Focus, about the offensive line. They played great. Caden Proctor played great. And how about some of the running backs stepping up and making a couple key blocks in pass pro to allow Jaylen to extend plays and or just stay in the pocket right there and deliver downfield. They played really great pass pro today. You know, hats off to you. That's been something we've wanted all season long. Key to victory number 3, build from last week. I think they did that. I really do think they did that. We saw more designed quarterback runs for Jalen Milroe. Now, he didn't have the amount of rushing yards this week. He only had 36 rushing yards this week. But, you know, they were in critical moments. And, you know, he used his legs when he needed to. He didn't just have to take off all the time. He had plenty of time to find receivers. I think he took off when he had to. And that was nice to see. We saw some Kendrick Law usage. We saw him line up as the running back on that play to Amari Niblack for a touchdown. They kind of swung him out to the right. The safety came down and was kind of looking at him, and it had just allowed Amari Niblack to just go right up the seam, be wide open for the touchdown. So I love seeing how they're using Kendrick Law. You know, let's see, on the day, he only had 1 catch for 11 yards, 2 targets, but still, you know, we saw him on a jet sweep. It's hard for linebackers to cover Kendrick Law when he's coming around on a jet sweep. He's a very dynamic player. He looked pretty good on kickoff returns today. I was impressed by him. I hope they continue to get him worked into the game. We saw Kobe Prentice make a couple plays today. He had a nice touchdown grab. And Terrion Arnold, 2 more turnovers for him, 1 interception, a forced fumble. The guy's playing out of his mind. He had a couple pass breakups that were really, really big. You know, he's a redshirt sophomore, so technically this is 3 years out of high school for him. Terrion Arnold is really making a name for himself, I think, should be anyways, to go in day 1 or day 2 of the 2024 NFL draft. Don't be surprised if Terrion Arnold comes out this year, because he has had a hell of a season for Alabama after a season last year where, you know, it wasn't very good. Let's just put it as it was. It wasn't very good. He got better as the season went on for sure. But, you know, he's looked way better this year than he did last year. That's something awesome to see. I love seeing his progression so far this year. But like we said, key to victory number 3, check it off, build on last week. I think they did that. And I hope they continue to do that going forward. So right now in the comments section, I want you guys to let me know who gets the game ball for Alabama. Kind of hard to not say Jalen Milroe, I think, again, for the 2nd week in a row. Maybe give it to the offensive line. You know, I thought they played really good. The defensive line, if you want to give it to a group, they had 9 tackles for loss today, 3 sacks. The defensive line played absolutely amazing. And that will go right in to our takeaway key to victory number 4 was stop Ray Davis. They absolutely did that. Ray Davis only had 26 yards today. You know, he had over, you know, 900 yards, I believe, on the season. For sure going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. And they held him to 26 yards. Yeah, he had 2 of their touchdowns, but it's right on the goal line. You know, they're just punching it in. He didn't really affect the run game much. Really, it was Ramon Jefferson for Kentucky that affected the run game for them. He had 73 yards of rushing. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. He had 73 yards of rushing. Kentucky only had 95 yards total rushing on the day. Alabama, 285. They absolutely kept Ray Davis in check. Check it off. Another key to victory that Alabama was able to, just corral a very, very, very good running back. He's no slouch. Ray Davis is really good, and Alabama was able to hold him to basically nothing today. So right now, guys, I want you to make sure you are subscribed here to the Alabama Football Report. Like I've always said in these post-game reactions, I'm a big Alabama fan. I graduated from Alabama, and being here at Chat Sports, it's been an amazing football season, and I just hope it keeps continuing to build into a community that we can all be proud of. So make sure you guys subscribe at Roll Tide TV right now for me. Okay, last thing, key to victory, takeaway number 5, finish strong. They allowed 14 points in the second half. That's pretty much as good as it's going to get. Alabama scored on 7 out of 11 drives that they had today. Scored touchdowns on 7 out of 11. Kentucky, only obviously 21 points. They only scored 3 touchdowns today. The second half for them, touchdown, pretty good drive. Let's just give it to them. 10 plays, 75 yards. They put together a good drive right there to start the second half. But touchdown, punt, touchdown. Really, that third touchdown probably should have been a fumble recovery for Alabama right there at their own 1-yard line. Didn't get reviewed. I don't know why it didn't get reviewed, but it didn't. So we got to live with that. And let's just look to the play right before that. Had Alabama gotten that fumble that wasn't, we'd really have to look at that play by Caleb Downs. I mean, it was a sure enough touchdown run for Kentucky on that play. And Caleb Downs just hawks the running back down and tackles him down at the 1-yard line. And then the very next play, that fumble that wasn't called happened. What a game, not necessarily game-changing play, but a big effort play by Caleb Downs on that. It would have flipped it. Alabama would have only ended up giving up 2 touchdowns in this game had that come to fruition for Alabama. But a good hustle play by Caleb Downs. I wanted to highlight that and make sure I got that in as well today. So, like I said, Alabama going to the SEC championship game against Georgia. I think it's a very winnable game for Alabama. Georgia has looked good. I thought when Brock Bowers went down, they were going to kind of crumble on offense a little bit. They really haven't. McConkey's been really good for them. The offense has really come into their own. So that's going to be an amazing game. I cannot wait. December 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia. Alabama versus Georgia for the SEC championship game. You win and you're in. It's as simple as that. I don't think Alabama can afford to lose that game and still get in. Maybe some crazy things could happen around the country. But as of right now, that is Alabama's golden ticket to get in. And you know what? You just keep building week to week to week. That's been the greatest thing about this team is every single week they've gotten better and better and better. And I don't think they took any steps back this week. I think they only went forward. Obviously, there are things on the film that they can fix, and I think they will fix because this coaching job by Nick Saban has been amazing this year. I think it's been one of his best coaching jobs. Some people can maybe say the 2020 COVID season because you had 10 SEC games. Personally, I think this has been a better coaching job this year. Is a really, really young team, first-year quarterback, and Alabama, since that Texas loss, has played really, really well. Despite the USF game, I completely throw that game away because Jalen Milroe wasn't playing at all in that game. Defense played amazing in that game, by the way. Offense couldn't get anything going. I think they could have if Jalen Milroe was the quarterback. But kudos to him for being a leader, grinding, getting better every single week, and slowly but surely, possibly, getting into that Heisman conversation. Another 6 touchdowns today. Jalen Milroe really coming into his own.